Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your source for the finest 2A propaganda, brought to you by TNVC.com. Today I want to tell you about how the NRA is actually doing their job for once. A man who wanted some guns so bad he busted down the wall of a gun shop to get them, a deputy mayor indicted on 117 counts of illegal guns and fake IDs, and why the NSSF is suing New York. Last July, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo took a break from groping women and taking bribes to sign Senate Bill 7196, which flagrantly contradicts the Federal Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. The PLCAA prohibits people from suing gun makers for the unlawful use of their products. And this is one of those things that really shouldn't even have to be said out loud, let alone codified in federal law. I mean, if anyone tried to sue Ford just because some used one to plow through a parade, they would be left out of the courtroom. But it seems like every time guns are involved, people lose their ability to think rationally. So the National Shooting Sports Foundation, along with 14 other plaintiffs, has filed a lawsuit against New York Attorney General and suspected Cylon sympathizer Letitia James in her official capacity.
If you like seeing stuff more than not seeing stuff, take a look at our sponsor, TNVC.com, your source for quality night vision gear to make you the bump in the night.
Back in September, we reported on Assembly Bill 173 in Californistan, which directs the Calistani Ministry of Justice to release the personal information of legal gun owners to researchers at UC Davis, as well as any other accredited school, at the discretion of the Ministry of Justice for the purpose of gun violence research. I shouldn't really have to explain how people are concerned their information may be misused or leaked. Calistani gun owners submitted their names or addresses, their social security numbers, or note from their third grade teacher, and other personal information when they registered their firearms, with the explicit assurance it would always be held in the strictest confidence and only within law enforcement circles. So the NRA has filed a lawsuit challenging the law. I know I was surprised myself. I had no idea they spent any time or money on something other than suits, yachts, and whole forests of junk mail. But the NRA actually filed the suit themselves with their very own lawyers. Not just an afterthought amicus brief. The suit was randomly assigned to U.S. District Court Judge Thomas Whalen, but the NRA has petitioned for it to be assigned to St. Benitez because of a court rule which allows similar cases to be heard by the same judge. Now, on the off chance that any steppers at UC Davis happen to be watching this wrong think and are considering whether they ought to leak the gun owners' personal information to anti-gun groups and whatnot, I just want to remind you that any comprehensive list of gun owners also functions as a list of everyone who does not own a gun, which would be a pretty handy piece of information to have if you're in the business of involuntary reallocation of resources. Ever wanted a new gun so bad you could just steal an excavator and knock down a building to get it? Yeah, well, probably not literally me either, but Eric Diener did. He recently pled guilty to stealing an excavator from a nearby construction site to knock down a wall of Castle Arms in Billings, Montana. He said he is a prohibited possessor, but he really likes guns, so he just went ahead and helped himself to the excavator. 5 pistols and a rifle. A representative from Castle Arms said he had been in the gun store earlier acting pretty sus, and he was wearing the same clothes when he broke in. Investigators went to his house and arrested him on an outstanding warrant. You know, when the legacy media uses the word arsenal, they're usually overselling it in the extreme, and it turns out it was actually just an old broken high point, a dollar store knife, and a half a box of ammo. But in this case, maybe the word is close enough to be justified. Don't get me wrong, a dozen silencers and 19 rifles are still rookie numbers, but it's a lot closer than we're used to seeing when the word arsenal is thrown around. Airmont Deputy Mayor Brian Downey has been indicted on 117 counts for his arsenal. I had never heard of an Airmont, so I had to look it up. Turns out it's like a suburb of New York City or something, like Apache Junction, I guess. According to the indictment, Downey also had multiple fake IDs for the FBI, Federal Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Marshals, And investigators helpfully photographed using a potato from 1987. He also had an unregistered short barrel rifle, short barrel shotgun, several dozen standard capacity magazines, and those silencers I mentioned a moment ago. The rifles would be considered assault weapons under New York statute, and the standard capacity magazines as well would also be illegal in New York. Downey originally attracted the attention of law enforcement because a package containing a motorcycle noise reduction exhaust pipe was intercepted by customs and referred to Homeland Security as an unregistered silencer. Downey told investigators he believed it was legal for him to own the guns and the silencers because his status as a part-time officer of the court means he is a peace officer. I shouldn't have to tell you, I believe all gun laws are unconstitutional and an affront to basic human rights. But if you're going to be a Chad non-complier, it's pretty dumb to order Wish.com silencers direct to your house. Everybody knows you have those things shipped to your political rivals. I'm kidding, folks. Don't do that. That was a joke.
That's a joke, boy. You missed it. Went right past you. You gotta keep on your toes. What toes, that is.
Well, friends, that's all I have for you today. But before I go, I just want to take the time to remind you to stop and check and see whether you're still subscribed to our channel. Our robot overlords in the tube of yous know what we want better than we could possibly know for ourselves. So they just go ahead and unsubscribe viewers from any channels they think are expressing wrongthink. Like this one. Now you folks out there in TV land, no censorship makes puppies cry, and Captain America is very disappointed. So don't forget to check every now and then just to be sure you're still subscribed to us. While you're at it, make sure you ring that notification bell so you never miss a word of our gun rights propaganda. And if you want to get email alerts for the best deals, the projects we're working on, and the hottest stuff you missed on the ARFCOM forums, you'll also find a Linktree link down there in the doobly-doo for our newsletter. And remember, if you want to help us keep bringing you banger content like this, please support the folks who support us. Not only does TNVC.com give you night vision with that cool, refreshing, never bitter taste that goes down smooth, they also have mounts, lights, training, swag, and all sorts of gear to make you the bump in the night. I love you. Can he steal it? Yes, he can. Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM